Mercedes Benz is very serious about the electrification of its fleet, and the last year alone they came out with 5 all-electric vehicles, starting with the EQS sedan, EQS SUV, GLB, EQE sedan, and now the final one that joins the family is the EQE SUV. And that's what I have for you today, and thanks to Mercedes Benz of Bonita Springs, I'm going to be able to take in a complete tour of this vehicle. We're starting from the exterior. Interior, we're going to talk about what powers up this thing at the end of this video. We're going to take it for a spin. This is the first time we meet. My name is Matt here on Matt the Carguy. I post 2 car reviews every single week. If that's something that interests you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now let's get back to this. Well, here on the outside, it looks very similar to the EQS SUV, which I've done a review a couple months ago. I'll post it, link to it at the end of this video so you can check it out if you're interested, but it is smaller, and you can definitely see that. I do like the styling, overall styling. I think it looks better than on the EQS. I like the sculpted hood with a bunch of indents created for the better aerodynamics. Now, if you look at the lights, now these are all brand new digital lights, and these lights, this is an added option, can actually project different symbols on the sidewalk, do some crazy illuminations. I'm going to try to check that out for you later on in this video. You also have this LED blade light that connects the two, nicely illuminating the front of this vehicle at night. And of course the closed up grille, huge Mercedes Benz star front view camera. And then you have the actual functional air curtains on the side. Right here at the bottom you have a little bit of chrome. This is a luxury SUV, so that kind of further accentuates that. And unfortunately we can't open up this hood. There's a whole bunch of electrical components. Mercedes technicians basically are the only ones with access to it. But let's talk about what powers up this thing. So the 350 and the 350 Plus, which what I have for you today, they both have this electric motor that produces 288 horsepower. Now this is a 4MATIC version. The new 4MATIC actually can adapt up to 10,000 times per minute, which is crazy. And then of course we have the EQE350, which is the most powerful one with over 400 horsepower. I can't wait to take it for a spin, but before we do that, let's take a look at the rest of this vehicle. On their website, Mercedes calls it advanced, adaptive, and adventurous. I love electric vehicles, not for the reasons that the media wants us to believe in, but because they present us with different features and technologies that were available on the combustion engine vehicles. With elimination of certain drivetrain components, you open up a completely different space for passengers and the driver, of course, and have a completely different driving dynamics, with most of the weight being at the very bottom of the vehicle. Now, the technologies and the possibilities are endless. One of the technologies here is the 4MATIC available air suspension, which has its own off-road mode. Believe it or not, you can actually take this vehicle off-road. I don't know if I would try it or not, but Mercedes says it's possible. So take a look at some of the design characteristics of this vehicle. As you can see, the shape of it is very close to the EQS SUV. It's all about aerodynamics. Actually, I like this better. I like the compact version a little bit more. What I'm not sure about is this wheel arches painted in this matte black. I'd like to see them painted. It's either in this shiny black or painted in the same color as the rest of the vehicle. I think it would look more luxurious than the matte black. And if you look at the rims, now all of the 8 different choices of rims, this is 20-inch that we have on this one, but all of them were designed with the electric vehicles in mind. This is the AMG rim. Actually, I do like this styling quite a bit. Now you have this chrome trim piece at the very bottom of it, flush mounted door handles that nicely extend from the vehicle, and then you have the satin chrome at the bottom and the shiny chrome at the top as far as the surrounding of the windows. EQE badge right here, and if you're wondering what this is to add your windshield washer fluid. This is not a charger. The charging point is actually located on the rear quarter panel on the passenger side. And the mirrors, top of the mirrors painted the same color as the rest of the vehicle. You have the turn signals, camera, and the blind spot assist in it. And then of course you can lock, unlock it without using any buttons on the key, as long as you have the key somewhere on you. Now with the advancements in technology and the different platform, now this was an all-electric vehicle platform, you have a lot more room for the rear passengers. Well, let's check it out. Well, here in the back, I have plenty of room. Even though this seat is adjusted to my normal and comfortable driving position, I'm not touching my knees to the back of it. I'm 6 feet tall, have plenty of headroom, shoulder room, and knee room. I feel like sitting on the bench. My knees are pretty much straight down. There's plenty of room in here. The seats are nice and comfortable. And matter of fact, this interior is amazing. Let me show you the rest of it. Starting with the rear door panel, you can see that we have the two-tone, they call it the Nava Gray and then the Biscaya Blue. And this color works so well together, makes this interior looks nice and airy. And I like the contrast stitching right over here. I do like this trim piece, even though I'm not a huge fan of this piano black because of the fingerprints that you can see on them. But it does have the lock and unlock. You have the door handle in this polished aluminum color, and then you have the Burmeister stereo, which is standard on all the EQEs. A little bit more storage down here, and then let's move in and check out the seating arrangements here. So there's 3 seats right here, 3 seat belts. The seats are very nice. I do like this color, as I mentioned before. They are comfortable, probably a little bit tougher than you can see on some of the maybe domestic models. Here's your cup holders. Press it once, press it twice, open up the cup holders, and this armrest can be folded back in here. Both of the seats have the seat back pockets. You have your vents, but no controls for the rear climate control. Then you have the 2 USB Type-C ports. Now this is a fully flat floor, so there's no obstructions for either of the 3 passengers. And we have this huge panoramic sunroof right here. Adds a lot of light inside of the cabin. Very aerodynamic styling right in the back of this vehicle too. Stays consistent with the brand, very similar to the EQS SUV as well as the EQS sedan and the EQE sedan. I do like the lights. You go across the entire vehicle, and that includes your brake lights, your tail lights, your turn signals, which by the way are amber in color, as you can see. And then right down here you have the rear view camera. Now this Mercedes star pops open, revealing the camera that keeps it nice and clean from the elements. EQE350 Plus, indicating we do have the 4MATIC one. Down here at the bottom, not sure about this chrome trim. Everything else looks pretty cool, including this diffuser underneath. But the trim and the simulated exhaust kind of doesn't work well together, in my opinion, with the electric vehicle. And then now on top here, you have the gate spoiler, third brake light, and I wish that they hid this wiper from the elements, putting it underneath here, maybe extending it a little bit. That would definitely be more aerodynamic, in my opinion. Now the gate can be accessed several different ways, from the interior, from the key, or Mercedes says that also by waving your foot underneath here. While this is opening, let me show you the brand new key from Mercedes Benz. So you can see you have the lock, unlock, and the gate opener, and on the back this red button is your panic button here. Let's check out the roominess inside. Walking up to this vehicle, let's check this out first. Standard to the Mercedes Benz, you have the close and lock, as well as the instruction of how to open the rear gate. You also have some illumination for somebody in the back, as well as what's going on underneath, so you have some LED lighting. And as far as roominess, you do have quite a bit of space for the midsize SUV. I'm not sure what the exact number is, but you can definitely fit a few pieces of nice size luggage in here. And you can see the home charging right here. This is for your regular 110 volt adapter. I'm not sure how long it takes on 110, but for 240, Mercedes says that you can charge it up fully in 12.5 hours. So this one would probably take a couple days. Well, no illumination here, but you do have your power outlet right here, cargo cover. The seats are foldable, so you have the 60-40 split. All I have to do is unlock those seats, let them go. I wish there was releases in the back cargo area for that. That would be really helpful. Let's see what we have underneath the floor here. Bit more storage. Fix a flat kit, so no spare tire on here. And this is pretty much it. Before we get inside, let's check out the Mercedes. Didn't sacrifice the quality by listening to the sound of closing doors. Boom, definitely not. This is a 10 out of 10. Most of the Benzes are like this. Front door panel, similar to the rear one, with the addition to the 3 different memory seat settings. You also have the heated and ventilated seats, then the mirror controls, as well as the lock and unlock. And you have the release of the back gate, a little bit more storage, Burmeister speaker right over here. And then on the seal right here, you have Mercedes Benz, right? Additional lumbar support controls. Nice seats, more on the comfortable than sporty side. And then because of, again, this is a single shift drive, right? This is single speed transmission. You have this all space that you can use for extra storage, and you have the 2 USB Type-C ports down here, as well as tons of storage space. Regular pedals. Now this is the AMG package, so I would expect a little bit more aggressive aluminum with rubber maybe. And then you have your light controls, electronic parking brake. And let's check out the rest of this interior. Take a first look at this interior. We're going to take it downstairs to have a better visibility of all the illumination and the screens. But I absolutely love the layout and the color of it. So this is not a hyper screen. There's 2 screens. One, this is your instrument cluster, which is 12.3-inch screen, and then you have the infotainment system, 12.8 screen, portrait style. I love this trim. Check this out. Get closer to here, you see those little aluminum Mercedes stars inside of this brown walnut trim, and then again the aluminum round vents on the sides. Absolutely amazing color right on top of this dashboard here. This color combination is going to become quickly my favorite one, even though it's very, very light and it'll probably get dirty. Love the steering wheel, and this is the new Mercedes steering wheel. You have the aluminum with combination. This is what it appears like leather wrapped. Maybe this is some man-made leather, some stitching, exposed stitching right here on the steering wheel. You do have the pedal shifters right there. This is not to shift the transmission, but this is more to control the region, I believe, on the vehicle. And then you have a bunch of buttons on both sides. So the left-hand side controls what's going on in the front of you in the instrument cluster. Right-hand side controls what's going on in the infotainment system. In addition to this, you have the cruise control on the left-hand side, volume, phone calls, favorite buttons on the right-hand side. Let's get it to the parking structure downstairs to better see the screens. Well, here we're downstairs in the parking structure, and I definitely see it better as far as the contrast and no glare for the screen. So let's check this out. Love the design of it. You can definitely see the illumination from the ambient lighting, the green one. You can see it in the vents. You can see it on top right here. And this is the multicolor illumination, so you can see a little bit of blue in here. I actually like this color. I dig it. But you can choose from 64 different colors if you go for monochrome or different colors as far as the animations here. Now, the vehicle is off right now, so let's start it on. I gotta tell you that unfortunately I won't be able to present you with the digital light projections, and that's because you have to be subscribed to it. Let's start it up. And this is about the only animation that you'll see on the lights, but you can see they're adaptive lights. But I would like to see those cool animations that it can do, or projections that you can see. But if you don't believe me, let's ask Mercedes. Hey Mercedes,
How may I help you?
how do I activate the digital light projection package?
You have not subscribed to this service. To use it, you first have to activate the service in the Mercedes Me app.
It's amazing, right? Talking to a car. But right there, you heard it from horse's mouth. Well, here's what's going on in the instrument cluster. You have several different themes that you can set up for. This is the sport theme. Not sure if this is my favorite. Looks a lot like space exploration right here. But you can change it to understated, classic. You can see the navigation in the middle, assistant service. So different themes that are available for your instrument cluster. Let's do classic. That's what most of people are used to, I guess. And here's what we have. So you have the speedometer on the left hand side. You have the tachometer on the right hand side. This is actually not a tachometer, this is the percentage of power. So the RPMs would be a lot faster, especially with the electric motor, but that's percentage of power used. And you have the range, 254 miles left, maximum 278, 98% is the battery charge right now, and the navigation is right in the middle. Of course, you do have quite a bit of customization here. You can definitely spend hours to explore it. Let's move on to this 12.8-inch screen. This is in portrait mode, and we've seen that on the Mercedes Benz. This is their newest generation. The new GLC has it, C-Class has it. Of course, it was, I believe, introduced in the EQS sedan. Now they have this zero-layer screen that basically keeps the most used functions right within reach. So the Mercedes adapts to, and see, she's starting right now.
I'm sorry, can you say that again, please?
No, quit Mercedes.
You have not subscribed to this service. To use it, you first have to activate the service in the Mercedes Me app.
I have to subscribe to her quitting, I guess. Well, here's what you have. So here's your EQ data, or this is actually the destinations, previous destination charging stations, parking spaces. You can see the range and how you can customize the range. So if you want to maximize the range by 23 miles, you can restrict the climate control functions, which basically turn off your air conditioning at 90-degree weather. No, thank you. Eco driving functions adds you 2 miles. Interior restrict functions by 2 miles. So that's pretty much it. And let's go to the charging, and let's see, socket flap. You can open that for your charging. Pause. Battery pre-temp control automatic. So I guess that just preconditions the battery, high voltage battery pre-temp. So for optimum charging, shorter charging times, the temperature of the high voltage battery might be within a certain range. This is normal for all of the electric vehicles. Just gives you the warning that if it's too hot, it's probably not going to charge as fast. Consumption right now, you know, the vehicle's got about how many miles it has on the odometer. I'm not sure, I don't see that, but probably 5 maybe. So I mean, there's really no data to see what's going on here. But let's go back to the main screen, and then of course you have the home screen that we can go to, and that is right in the middle, and this is your main menu. So apps, settings, comfort, let's take a look. Of course, you have your seat kinetics, ambient lighting, you can adjust through here, different colors, brightness, effects, and this is your back button settings as far as the vehicle. You have the driving, active distance assist, DISTRONIC. Now we have this on, so you can even stop and go traffic with the cruise control. Now you have vehicle settings, sound experience, lights, dynamic low beam, running lights, welcome farewell projection system. Hey, Mercedes is on. We can turn this off so she doesn't interfere with what I'm telling you. Every time I said Mercedes, this would turn on, basically. Here's your assistance, camera, no activation position available, open camera cover. Okay, now it's open, see where it's at. But this is basically your camera settings, parking assistance, collision avoidance, driving. You know, if you're talking about the camera, let's put it in reverse and let's see what we have. So this is the 360. You can see nice top-down view. Of course, very good quality camera with the active trajectory lines. And you have the several different angles. You have the front view camera, side camera on one side, the other side. You have the automatic, you know, from top down. This is, I think, your navigation best. So GPS position saved. Every time that somebody pulls up in this position, the camera will turn on. It will select the view by displaying outside. Okay, so I can basically move this vehicle around too. And then you also have a feature for the parking assistance and rear camera image, check surroundings, drive forward to search for parking spaces. We've done this some other vehicles. I'm not going to do it on this one, but this is a pretty nice and helpful feature. Put it back in park, and let's go to the main menu one more time. You know, as far as the phone, of course, you have the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, both wireless. Really nice display here. And then you have your radio. As far as the radio, you have your Sirius XM and FM. I don't see the AM. Maybe they eliminated the AM function from here. And you have media, so different devices you can connect to it. Right there, info as far as the energy flow, vehicle. 22% on the brake. That's because I have my foot on the brake. I don't want to roll, but I'm going to release it. Okay, and it still says that it's got 24% on the brake, so actually it might apply the brake. Now, if you look at the angles of the steering wheel, you can see that it does have the rear wheel steering. It's at 0 right now, but if we start driving, the rear is going to adjust too, and the front one is adjusting as of right now. You have the lean and pitch as far as the positioning of the vehicle, so this is very nice and helpful. Let's go back to the main menu, see what else we have. Smartphone, and of course you can connect your smartphone here. The bottom portion of this screen right here is of course for your climate control. So you have the adjustments of the fan, temperature, climate menu. You can display it right here, and then you can also set up the pre-entry climate control if you added your departure times, and you say the vehicle pre-air conditioning for departure time, and you can add this new time, whatever time you're leaving for work. Do it a half an hour earlier, 20 minutes earlier, and make sure that the vehicle sets it at the right temperature, so when you get in, you're nice and comfortable. And this is it. This is your menu right here. Down at the bottom, you have the dynamic drive modes, so you can have the eco, comfort, sport, and individual, where you can add it, of course, and then you can set it up as far as the drive. You have the options of eco, comfort, sport. Same thing with the steering and electronic stability program, comfort or sport. I like to test my vehicles in the sport mode. Now let's see what this EQ button does. That basically gives you the shortcuts to the electric vehicle settings. Now you have the parking assist and the camera, vehicle settings. Now this is a pretty cool shortcut. So you have the car wash mode, for example, that basically turns off everything that can be open during the car wash, so it's prepared for use in the car wash. Mirrors folded in, windows and roof closed, comfort vehicle opening off, Parktronics off, rain sensor off, rear wiper off, so all this stuff can be turned off here in the car wash mode. Of course, we go back, and then you have the snow chains, Parktronic interior protection. And now this, I'm not sure if this is this 360 guard that they're talking about, but this vehicle is equipped. I believe it requires the subscription for it, but that monitors what's going on outside and inside of the vehicle in case of any accidents. You can have the recording, so that's what the cameras are for on the outside, in addition to, of course, being there for your safety. Now you have the hazard lights right here. Here's your fingerprint reader. Again, you can customize this vehicle and actually activate your driver profile with the fingerprint. Turn off either the screen or the system, and then you have the mute button and the volume button that's at the bottom. Open this up, and you have the cup holders that disappear if you don't want them. You also have that digital key, wireless charging pad that's very up front here. Then you have the 2 USB Type-C ports, more storage, and then frameless mirror right here. Nice. Again, this illumination, really cool. You have your lights that you can turn on your lights with the door, or automatically. You have the Mercedes Me app connect, and then of course you have the panoramic sunroof with one touch or one slide opening of this cover right here. Look at this. Wow, this is huge. It's one huge panel up until behind the driver's seat. Now, does this open? Yep, it opens. It actually tilts. Let's see if it slides. And it slides back. Check this out. Look how much room we have. This is nice and wide, definitely allowing more air and light getting into this vehicle. So far, so good. I actually like this the best out of all of the electric Mercedes Benz that I've tested so far. Let's take it for a spin. Ready to take it for a spin. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the different trims and options that are available on the 2023 EQE SUV. Like I mentioned in the introduction, it's available in the 3 different trim levels, that 350, 350 plus, and the 500. 500, of course, being the most powerful with 402 horsepower. The 2 smaller trim levels or lower trim levels produce 288 horsepower. 279 is the range. The battery is 90.6 kilowatt hour, so that's the capacity of the battery. Unfortunately, Mercedes doesn't have the listings of the pricing on their website as the time of this filming, so I can only tell you of what this one cost. Basic MSRP $77,900, but the total MSRP with the packages that we have here is $87,300 and some dollars. So there's different packages. The driver's assistance package, I have the digital light package, I have the AMG package on here, and this is the exclusive trim. So just in case you were wondering, I'm going to post all of those options in the description of this video so you can see of what's on this tested model here. This rear wheel steering wheel really plays an important role, especially like going around the corners like I just did. No issues here, no second thoughts whether I'm going to make it or not. It just wraps around it really nicely. I'm going to do a full 360 in the parking lot so you can see of how tight this turns. In the last 3 years on this channel, I've tested many electric vehicles, and I like them. And generally, I like them because of the technology that's involved in them, the fast and acceleration, the performance of the vehicles, but none are as good as the Mercedes Benz. I can honestly say that they are putting up some amazing vehicles out with the, of course, the all-electric technology. It feels so good sitting on the interior of this vehicle. Everything is where it's supposed to be. It feels right. It's super quiet. The quality of build is unmatched by any other brand so far. Now, I haven't tested out like the Lucid Air, but I've tested pretty much all the Teslas, and I like them, but this, in my opinion, is much better. Let's take a look at the turning radius here. Turn the wheel all the way to the left and make a circle. Wow. It's 1, 2, 3 and a quarter as far as the parking spaces to turn this vehicle completely around. 288 horsepower might not seem like a lot, but on an electric vehicle, when it's available to you right away, I mean, it could make a difference. Let's see the acceleration, first merging in traffic, regular half throttle kind of deal. It's so quiet. It's amazing that it goes fast. Now, this is not the quickest vehicle. It does have this more gradual acceleration than some of the more aggressive, like I've tested Tesla Model X Plaid Edition. That was like literally breathtaking. This is definitely a lot less powerful. It's about a quarter of the horsepower that you have in Tesla, but it is nice. I think actually this is what people can get used to a lot quicker than on some of those high performance electric vehicle. This feels more of a regular vehicle type of acceleration. I'm going to see if I can do a 0 or from stop to about 60 miles per hour. Well, I am stopped right here. Let's hit it. And we got 60. Now, I read that this is about 5.6 seconds 0 to 60 on this setup. It's about 4.2 if you get the 500, so it's a big difference. But like I mentioned before, this is more of that gradual acceleration, more like a regular vehicle. Now, because I turned on that sound amplification or the sound effects on it, it actually almost feels like a spaceship. And of course, I do have the max regen here, no recuperation. If I turn that off, it basically floats when I let off the gas pedal. Now, if I turn the strong recuperation right here without pressing any of the pedals here, you know, I have definitely a slowdown right here, and then definitely I can pick it up. And I don't know if the microphone is picking up that sound, but it definitely sounds like a spaceship. That's definitely something that's easy to get used to, especially if you turn off the recuperation, then it feels more like a regular gasoline vehicle. I love the color combination on here. I love the roominess inside of this vehicle. There's really not too many things to complain about. Maybe the range, you know, some of the other competitors have over 300 miles range. That's, you know, always the case with the electric vehicles. I mean, how much can you get out of it? Can you hear that? Woo. Millennium Falcon or something like this. It definitely looks good. This particular one, I don't think it has the augmented reality, but I'm gonna see the gas station. Let's see if it's gonna show us this charge point. Okay, let's see if it's gonna turn on. So we're gonna select let's go.
900 feet, make a U-turn onto US 41 South.
And
now make a U-turn onto US 41
yep, it does
South.
have this augmented reality. You can see of which street we're turning on, which is definitely helpful when you're driving, especially, you know, with the navigations right now. There might be like a 6 corners, different streets going in different directions, and then there you go, that's asking me to make a U-turn again, which of course we're not going to do, but I'm actually going back to the Mercedes dealership to give it back to them. But this is pretty cool. So you can see what's going on, and it tells you exactly which street to make a turn to. Well, this electric SUV is definitely one of the closest to the combustion engine driving dynamics. So, and that's a good thing, because a lot of people are kind of on the fence and go like, hey, should I get an electric vehicle, maybe plug-in hybrid? And definitely go to Mercedes dealerships. I know that Mercedes Benz of Bonita Springs is having an electric vehicle event, which will let you test drive, you know, any of those EQEs or EQSs if they have in stock, and you know, get to know the vehicles, check it out. Maybe it will be for you, something that you're interested in. I'm going to leave the link to their website and the phone number in the description of this video. If you're interested in this one, it's available for sale. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I really appreciate every single subscribe and view. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, here's your chance. Hit that little red subscribe button at the bottom of this video. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.